Ja, proszę Państwa, jestem chyba najgorszym interpretatorem swoich wierszy, nie tylko w sensie rozumienia ich i wykładania, ale także czytania, bo bardzo mało czytam dla własnej przyjemności. Cóż to za przyjemność. Dlatego proszę o łaskawą pobłażliwość. Pan Kogito i wyobraźnia. Pan Kogito nigdy nie ufał sztuczkom wyobraźni. Fortepian na szczycie Alp grał mu fałszywe koncerty. Nie cenił labiryntów, sfinks napawał go od razu. Mieszkał w domu bez piwnic, luster i dialektyki. Dżungle skłębionych obrazów nie były jego ojczyzną. Unosił się rzadko na skrzydłach metafory, potem spadał jak ikar w objęcia wielkiej matki. Uwielbiał tautologię, tłumaczenie idem per idem, że ptak jest ptakiem, niewola niewolą, nóż jest nożem, śmierć śmiercią. Kochał płaski horyzont, linię prostą, przyciąganie ziemi. Pan Kogito będzie zaliczony do gatunku minores. Obojętnie przyjmie wyrok przyszłych badaczy litery. Używał wyobraźni do całkiem innych celów. Chciał z niej uczynić narzędzie współczucia. Pragnął pojąć do końca noc Pascala, naturę diamentu, melancholię proroków, gniew Achillesa, szaleństwa lodobójców, sny Marii Stuart, strach neandertalski, rozpacz ostatnich Azteków, długie konanie niczego, radość malarza z Lascaux, wzrost i upadek dębu, wzrost i upadek Rzymu. Zatem ożywiać zmarłych, dochować przymierza. Wyobraźnia pana Kogito ma ruch wahadłowy, przebiega dokładnie od cierpienia do cierpienia. Nie ma w niej miejsca na sztuczne ognie poezji. Chciałby pozostać wierny niepewnej jasności.
To był fragment.
That was taken from a meeting with Zbigniew Herbert in 1984, a legendary meeting, and this entire recording, along with Herbert's voice, was published by A5. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dariusz Bugalski. I'm a radio journalist with Polish Radio 3. And welcome to an exceptional evening. This is an awards ceremony of the 2017 International Zbigniew Herbert Literary Prize. Welcome to the Teatr Polski. Welcome to those who are watching us on Culture.pl. This is an extraordinary evening. It's a celebration, but it's also an encounter. It's an encounter, it's a meeting of friends of poetry. So I'd like to welcome all our friends, and I would especially like to welcome Katarzyna Herbert. And I would like to invite Maria Dzieduszycka, the president of the Zbigniew Herbert Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, Zbigniew Herbert said, "One heads for the source against the current. Only trash floats on the current." Again, heading towards the source is an independent poet, a free poet, one faithful to his word, opposing falsehood, discrimination, and violence. A poet who brings hope. When granting the International Zbigniew Herbert Literary Prize, we want to recall this idiom, this envoy given by its patron. The Zbigniew Herbert Foundation, which it is my honor to represent, organizes the Herbert Prize thanks to the support of many people and institutions without whom this ceremony would not have been possible. We are very grateful to all of them. I would particularly like to thank the strategic partner of this year's award ceremony, the PZU Foundation. We would also like to thank the Adam Mickiewicz Institute, which has been the partner of the award from the start, and especially the team at Culture.pl, thanks to whom this ceremony is seen, followed by people online around the world. We'd like to thank the team from Teatr Polski for their hospitality. We'd like to thank Traple Konarski Podrecki Law Firm for legal support, and the National Library and Polish Radio and TVP Kultura, our media patrons. In closing, I would like to recall the very topical words of Zbigniew Herbert from Prayer of the Traveler, Mr. Cogito. Lord, let me understand other people, other languages, other sufferings, and above all, let me be humble, that is to say, one who longs for the source. I thank you, Lord, for creating the world beautiful and various, and if this is your seduction, I am seduced for good, and past all forgiveness. And that is my wish for all of us tonight. Thank you.
Ja zapraszam na scenę aktorów.
And now I'd like to invite Joanna Trzepiecińska and Andrzej Seweryn.
Pan Cogito opowiada o kuszeniu Spinozy. Baruch Spinoza z Amsterdamu zapragnął dosięgnąć Boga. Szlifując na strychu soczewki, przebił nagle zasłonę i stanął twarzą w twarz. Mówił długo, a gdy tak mówił, rozszerzał się umysł jego i dusza jego. Zadawał pytania na temat natury człowieka. Bóg gładził roztargniony brodę. Pytał o pierwszą przyczynę. Bóg patrzył w nieskończoność. Pytał o przyczynę ostateczną. Bóg łamał palce, chrząkał. Kiedy Spinoza zamilkł, rzecze Bóg. Mówisz ładnie, Baruch. Lubię twoją geometryczną łacinę, a także jasną składnię, symetrię wywodów. Pomówmy jednak o rzeczach naprawdę wielkich. Popatrz na twoje ręce, pokaleczone i drżące. Niszczysz oczy w ciemnościach. Odżywiasz się źle. Odziewasz nędznie. Kup nowy dom. Wybacz weneckim lustrom, że powtarzają powierzchnię. Wybacz kwiatom na włosach, pijackiej piosence. Dbaj o dochody, jak twój kolega Kartezjusz. Bądź przebiegły jak Erazm. Poświęć traktat Ludwikowi XIV. I tak go nie przeczyta. Uciszaj racjonalną furię. Upadną od niej trony i zczernieją gwiazdy. Pomyśl o kobiecie, która da ci dziecko. Widzisz, Baruch? mówimy o rzeczach wielkich. Chcę być kochany przez nieuczonych i gwałtownych. Są to jedyni, którzy naprawdę mnie łakną. Teraz zasłona opada. Spinoza zostaje sam. Nie widzi złotego obłoku, światła na wysokościach. Widzi ciemność. Słyszy skrzypienie schodów, kroki schodzące w dół.
Tarnina Konstantemu Jeleńskiemu. Wbrew najgorszym przewidywaniom wróżbitów pogody, szeroki klin polarnego powietrza wbity po nasadę w powietrze, wbrew instynktowi życia, świętej strategii przetrwania, inne rośliny z namysłem zbierają siły do skoku i na czarnych liniach frontu gromadzą pąki przed atakiem. Zanim Prospero podniesie rękę, Tarnina rozpoczyna solowy koncert w zimnej, pustej sali. Ten przydrożny krzew łamie zmowy ostrożnych i jest jak piękni młodzi ochotnicy, którzy giną w pierwszym dniu wojny w nowiutkich mundurach, podeszwy butów ledwo zapisane piaskiem. Jak gwiazdy poezji przedwcześnie zagasłe. Jak wycieczka szkolna zabrana przez lawinę. Jak ci, co pośród ciemności widzą jasno. Jak powstańcy, którzy wbrew zegarom historii, wbrew najgorszym przewidywaniom, mimo wszystko zaczynają. O szaleństwo białych, niewinnych kwiatów. Zamieć oślepiająca, grzbiet fali, aubada z krótkim, uporczywym ostinato, aureola bez głowy. Tak, Tarnino. Parę taktów w pustej sali, a potem potargane nuty leżą wśród kałuż i rudych chwastów, by nikt nie wspominał. Ktoś jednak musi mieć odwagę. Ktoś musi zacząć. Tak, Tarnino. Kilka czystych taktów to bardzo dużo. To wszystko.
Tren Fortinbrasa dla MC. Teraz, kiedy zostaliśmy sami, możemy porozmawiać, książę, jak mężczyzna z mężczyzną. Chociaż leżysz na schodach i widzisz tyle, co martwa mrówka, to znaczy czarne słońce o złamanych promieniach. Nigdy nie mogłem myśleć o twoich dłoniach bez uśmiechu. I teraz, kiedy leżą na kamieniu jak strącone gniazda, są tak samo bezbronne jak przedtem. To jest właśnie koniec. Ręce leżą osobno, szpada leży osobno, osobno głowa i nogi rycerza w miękkich pantoflach. Pogrzeb mieć będziesz żołnierski, chociaż nie byłeś żołnierzem. Jest to jedyny rytuał, na jakim trochę się znam. Nie będzie gromnic i śpiewu. Będą ląty i huk, kir wleczony po bruku, hełmy, podkute buty, konie artyleryjskie. Werbel, werbel. Wiem, nic pięknego. To będą moje manewry przed objęciem władzy. Trzeba wziąć miasto za gardło i wstrząsnąć nim trochę. Tak czy owak musiałeś zginąć, Hamlecie. Nie byłeś do życia. Wierzyłeś w kryształowe pojęcia, a nie glinę ludzką. Żyłeś ciągłymi skurczami, jak we śnie łowiłeś chimery. Łapczywie gryzłeś powietrze i natychmiast wymiotowałeś. Nie umiałeś żadnej ludzkiej rzeczy, nawet oddychać nie umiałeś. Teraz masz spokój, Hamlecie. Zrobiłeś, co do ciebie należało i masz spokój. Reszta nie jest milczeniem, ale należy do mnie. Wybrałeś część łatwiejszą, efektowny sztych. Lecz czymże jest śmierć bohaterska wobec wiecznego czuwania z zimnym jabłkiem w dłoni na wysokim krześle, z widokiem na mrowisko i tarczę zegara? Żegnaj, książę. Czeka na mnie projekt kanalizacji i dekret w sprawie prostytutek i żebraków. Muszę też obmyślić lepszy system więzień, gdyż, jak zauważyłeś słusznie, Dania jest więzieniem. Odchodzę do moich spraw. Dziś w nocy urodzi się gwiazda Hamlet. Nigdy się nie spotkamy. To, co po mnie zostanie, nie będzie przedmiotem tragedii. Ani nam witać się, ani żegnać. Żyjemy na archipelagach, a ta woda, te słowa, cóż mogą? Cóż mogą, książę?
Kamyk. Kamyk jest stworzeniem doskonałym, równy samemu sobie, pilnujący swych granic, wypełniony dokładnie kamiennym sensem. O zapachu, który niczego nie przypomina, niczego nie płoszy, nie budzi pożądania. Jego zapał i chłód są słuszne i pełne godności. Czuję ciężki wyrzut, kiedy go trzymam w dłoni i ciało jego szlachetne przenika fałszywe ciepło. Kamyki nie dają się oswoić. Do końca będą na nas patrzeć okiem spokojnym, bardzo jasnym.
Do Marka Aurelego, profesorowi Henrykowi Elzenbergowi. Dobranoc, Marku. Lampę zgaś i zamknij książkę. Już nad głową wznosi się srebrne larum gwiazd. To niebo mówi obcą mową. To barbarzyński okrzyk trwogi, którego nie zna twa łacina. To lęk odwieczny, ciemny lęk, okruchy ludzki ląd zaczyna bić i zwycięży. Słyszysz szum? To przypływ. zburzy Twe litery żywiołów niewstrzymany nurt, aż runą świata ściany 4. Cóż nam? Na wietrze drżeć i znów w popioły chuchnąć, mącić eter, gryźć palce, szukać próżnych słów i wlec za sobą cień poległych. Więc lepiej, Marku, spokój zdejm i ponad ciemność podaj rękę. Niech drży, gdy bije w zmysłów pięć, jak w wątwą lirę ślepy wszechświat. Zdradzi nas wszechświat, astronomia, rachunek gwiazd i mądrość traw. I Twoja wielkość zbyt ogromna. I mój bezradny, Marku, płacz.
7 anioł. 7 anioł jest zupełnie inny. Nazywa się nawet inaczej. Szemkel. To nieco Gabriel, złocisty, podpora tronu i baldachim, ani to co Rafael, stroiciel chórów, ani także Azrael, kierowca planet, geometra nieskończoności, doskonały znawca fizyki teoretycznej. Szemkel jest czarny i nerwowy i był wielokrotnie karany za przemyt grzeszników. Między otchłanią a niebem jego tupot nieustanny. Nic nie ceni swojej godności i utrzymują go w zastępie tylko ze względu na liczbę 7. Ale nie jest taki jak inni. Nie to co hetman zastępów Michał, cały w łuskach i pióropuszach, ani to co Azrafael, dekorator świata, opiekun bujnej wegetacji, ze skrzydłami jak 2 dęby szumiące, ani nawet to co Dedrael, apologeta i kabalista. Szemkel, sarkają aniołowie. Dlaczego nie jesteś doskonały? Malarze bizantyńscy, kiedy malują 7, odtwarzają Szemkela podobnego do tamtych. Sądzą bowiem, że popadliby w herezję, gdyby wymalowali go takim, jak jest. Czarny, nerwowy, w starej, wyleniałej aureoli.
Bardzo Państwu dziękujemy, Panie Dyrektorze, bardzo dziękujemy za
Thank
gościnne
you very much,
przyjęcie w
Director
Teatrze
Severin, for being our host at Teatr
Przypomnę
Polski.
skład jury.
Let me recall the members of the jury of the International Zbigniew Herbert Literary Award for 2017. Juri Andruchowicz, Edward Hirsch, Mikhail Kryger, Jarosław Mikołajewski, Mercedes Monmani, and the secretary of the jury was Andrzej Franaszek. Thank you very much for your work and for your choice.
I zapraszam Jarosława
And now I'd like
Mikołajewskiego,
to invite
przedstawiciela
Jarosław
jury. Bardzo się proszę.
Mikołajewski, a member of the jury.
Wiadomo, kto jest, tak, laureatem, czy mam czytać tak, jak gdyby nie było wiadomo? Proszę bardzo. Katarzyno, Marysiu, Breytenie, udajemy, że tu ciebie nie ma, ponieważ to jest laudacja dla ciebie.
Breyten, we're pretending you're not here because this is a laudatory address to Breyten Breytenbach. When a young Zbigniew Herbert admitted to a much older fellow writer that he was suffering inner torment, he received a letter in reply. We do not know that letter, but we can imagine how substantial consolation the poet took from it, since he responded, I am infinitely thankful to you for your help, for your brotherhood in suffering. When Breyten Breytenbach learned that from the members of the jury that he has won the Herbert Award, he wrote us an email. I am truly moved by the fraternity that this award implies, and poetry has become a refuge and a brotherhood. In these sentences, Breyten twice used the word brotherhood or its synonym, and this is not a symptom of stylistic helplessness on the part of this master of language, be it English, Afrikaans, or Polish, a universal language that seeks a common source, just as in the faces of people and races we seek out features of one immutable humanity, which is one in its diverse multiplicity. Reading Breyten Breytenbach's poetry, getting to know his images, reading into his life, it is easy to see that brotherhood is the driving force of his work and existence. A brotherhood of compassion, a brotherhood of responsibility, a brotherhood of love. A brotherhood of being in the world together, of shared embroilment in existence on ludicrous terms, as André Breton put it. Fraternity is a feeling that is sensual, radical, invigorating, complex and inspiring, leading to an artistic and existential practice that makes Breyten Breytenbach remarkable, just as Zbigniew Herbert was remarkable. Where does this attitude, whereby everything, people, animals, nature, is perceived as a brotherhood? To quote Joseph Brodsky's hypothesis, I believe it comes from God. The God who exists and the God who does not exist. Patrons, brothers, there is a whole, precisely a fraternity of them. To mention Giacomo Leopardi, too seldom read in Poland, who, looking at the arid slopes of Vesuvius, at the wild broom clinging to the soil in spite of hope, in spite of everything, believed that even if we lose everything and hope for everything, there is a sign of life sent to our brothers. And that is precisely what the yellow broom flower teaches us. Powerless and insolent, for whom, when all else fails, there remains one thing, others like it. A fraternity that compensates for a lack of meaning and empties heavens, inconvenience and injury. Leopardi, Herbert, Camus, Pasolini, who writes, we are brothers in opposing passions. It is good company, and there is a place in it for Breyten Breytenbach. Breyten proclaims brotherhood in poetry, in art, and life. He is the brother of his university colleagues when he protests against racial segregation. He is the brother of his own Vietnamese wife when South Africa denies her a visa, and he writes an open letter, if I could renounce my being an Afrikaner, I would do it. I am ashamed of my people. I am ashamed of the humiliation of my wife, family, and friends. I see no future for them in our beautiful country. Apartheid disgusts and repels me with all its implications. He is a brother of prisoners when he writes a letter to Butcher from abroad to Prime Minister Forster with the Herbertian phrase, and you, Butcher, burdened with the security of the state. What are your thoughts when a night begins to show her skeleton, and the first burbling scream is forced from the inmate as if of birth flooded by the fluids of parturition? And does the heart also tighten in your throat when you paw its slippery limbs, with the very hands that will caress the secrets of your wife. Breyten Breytenbach proclaims and practices brotherhood when, in the same poem and elsewhere, he speaks for a prisoner, and when he himself becomes a prisoner for 7 long years. Breyten spoke of brotherhood in Maastricht nearly 10 years ago when I first met him, and we read poems, and somebody said, "That's a great poet, he deserves a Nobel Prize more than anyone." He doesn't have a Nobel Prize, let's hope that this is just a forgivable delay, but he does have the Herbert Award. Breyten spoke about poets united by their work at the juncture of imagination and reality. He spoke of the power of those who have no power. He finds validation for song, in which we express compassion for life and our common lot, that we carry, and I made a note of these words, the slow yet savage flame of dying within us. Poetry is the language of community, evidently. We succumb to it helplessly when it is as apt as ardent as Breyten Breytenbach's poetry. But its language is also rebellion against everything and everyone who would shatter the fraternal community with natural law, its cruelty, political perfidy, and the fury of dictators and resentment. I remember when our mutual late friend, Hans van de Warsenburg, suggested that we create an angry poets society. Breyten, paraphrasing Dylan Thomas, said its motto should be, "Do not go gently into that dark night." This applies to every night, except the one that guards over our peaceful slumber. Thank you, Breyten, and congratulations, Breyten. Breyten Breytenbach, if you will come on stage.
Zapraszam
Dr. Grażyna Melanowicz, a member of the PZU Foundation, and Madam Katarzyna Herbert. The award is this statue designed by Szaroszyk Rycerski Architects, and the winner of the 2017 Zbigniew Herbert Award will receive a check for $50,000 from the PZU Foundation, the strategic partner of this year's award. Madam, ladies and gentlemen, the International Zbigniew Herbert Literary Award serves to disseminate the work of the greatest Polish poet, his works, and his humanistic envoy. It is also a very prestigious distinction for outstanding literary work and for moral attitude. And congratulations, sincere, heartfelt congratulations. I'm very grateful for this meeting, and I'm very happy that a poet such as Breyten Breytenbach is receiving the Zbigniew Herbert Award. Thank you very much.
Nie wiem, czy pan będzie trzymał.
I don't know if you want to hold on to that when reading, please.
zabranie głosu.
if you would say a few words, Breyten Breytenbach.
Thank you. I had to think immediately that this is so wonderful and so beautiful and so pure. But luckily, it's not yet quite big enough to be a tombstone. So I will keep it very safely, and I hope I'll be able to keep it for a number of years. Thank you very much. Thank you. Dancing with other words, or dancing with words to trace the rhythm of sense. I dreamt I was in a Theater Polski, a place hallowed by many dreams, among people, much like myself, strangers, exactly as I am, trying to tell them who I am and where I come from. Not a word flew from my mouth, neither bird, nor butterfly or moth, not even a cockroach. And yet they understood everything. I had to keep going, however impossible the assignment. Talking is the appropriate English neologism, because the contact was tenuous, and I had only 12 minutes to find meaning. Was it not Ibn al-Arabi who proclaimed movement as the origin of existence? And did Robert Walser not later confirm by saying, perpetual movement generates morality? But how was I then to convey my appreciation of the honor of having been invited, or my affection for the host? To mind came an injunction my Afrikaner mentor in writing, the late Jan Rabi, taught. The definition of love is to keep on moving and making a noise. Indeed, there is, however paradoxical, a certain unthinking bravery in writing, a lucidity in the conviction that the light which effaces paradoxes can be brought to being, shaped in words, which be thoughts conveying meaning by sound, as a cobweb will shiver to recall movement, and thereby memory, even though it is a tracing of disappearance. You write to exercise the not knowing, the idea of dying is still a literary conceit, while believing or making believe that the reality of living is trapped in a line. And then you write to exercise the reality which came into being through your writing. And then you write, you must go on to exercise the intimate knowledge of dying, maybe even the non-being. And then you write to accompany that realization, because you can do no less. And then the writing does not need to come into being for you to exist at all, for dying needs neither proof, nor formulation, nor echo to be. This knowledge may teach you a mastery of the useless. You exist in a writing, or writing will be the inexorable unfolding of life and the unfolding of dying, quite beyond the self's need to act as go-between. For me, it is a trajectory of silent singing, counting and calling and naming and classifying the stones that mark the crossings. In the late 18th century, a travel report to the far reaches of the Cape Colony, when all the world was one and only needed to be discovered to exist, when humans walking upside down to escape the shadows and unicorns and King Solomon's fabulous gold mines still filled the dreams of the Enlightenment thinkers, an explorer noted that the Khoi term for writing was kuru. At least, that is what the Europeans heard and transcribed. The same expression used for the art of imitation. Writing, it can thus be said, is an imitation of what exists, of birds and butterflies and moths and cockroaches, of stones found along the way. The road has its own memories in the movement and the imagination of disappearance. And perhaps this becoming can be copied in the motionless traveling of imploding surfaces of a Giorgio Morandi painting, or the flying of a Tibetan monk. For the universe is, as it always is, complete and forever transformed into forgetting. And yet it has to be invented and uncovered all over every day for us to move forward. The purpose of poets and painters is to make a world real by imagining that which exists. I do not denigrate those who find their way out of the dilemma or into contemplation by means of the spiritual or the transcendental. Those who may wish to be dissolved in a solution of a higher reality, a religion, an ideology, or a dogma, even if this fearful ecstasy may bring the illusion of an illumination, the adoration of the one that only too often, as idolatrous certainty, leads to an intolerance and even the elimination of the other. Nor do I argue for making or creativeness or transformation or searching for shape as alternative, or necessarily for the art of letting go inherent to remembering and imagination. What I do know is that we have been striving to experience and understand life ever since the beginning of time, which we cannot know, just as we have to project our non-being one dance step at a time, one rock face at a time, one dawn of time as if it were the first and the last one failure at a time, one world at a time, one life at a time, wind by wind and miracle by miracle and bird by bird and darkness by darkness. This is a lesson our guides of poetry, like Master Zbigniew Herbert, impart, that the word is no remedy to the ails of the world, no answer, that it cannot be the representation of reality, because it is the reality of being here and now, and thereby the only always we can know. We are our own disappearance. We live to celebrate the unbearable lightness of being, which is the ongoing initiation by imitation or by imitation of our dying. In a transcript of a conversation with Edouard Glissant aboard the Queen Mary II, Mantya Diawara writes, this is Glissant, the late poet-philosopher from Martinique, talking, and I quote, "The imagination of the world is something else. It is the intuition of everything that can be touched in the world, everything that's the same and everything that's different. What's different in the world constitutes our strength. I always say the fabric of living and the canvas of cultures are not created on the basis of the similar, but the different. It is the alliance of differences that creates the fabric of the living and the canvas of cultures." End of quote. I come from an earth that will be flat again, where the valorization of diversity is snuffed out by a profoundly colonialized political expediency in praise of ignorance and incompetence. It is prescribed that my tongue of many mothers and fathers, of hybridization, of becoming other, will fall silent and be swallowed in shame for the past. National consensus decrees that we can no longer allow texture or transgression or uncertainty to nourish our curiosity. All of that will be flattened by the morally correct weight of fear, conformism, popular sloganeering, draped in a shroud of nihilism called historical determinism. Or put differently, for the sake of progress and equality, I quote, "It is only natural that the majority should have more rights than the minorities," according to President Zuma of South Africa. Anything, as long as it's not true transformation, true emancipation, true human agency in the face of an eternity of unfolding, true accountability for the past and the future with the real responsibility toward life. John Berger, the British essayist, artist, and poet who recently gave his tongue to silence, wrote, the book was called, "And Our Face is My Heart, Briefest Photos," that language is potentially the only human home, the only dwelling place that cannot be hostile to man. Poetry, he added, makes language care. There's often nothing more substantial to place against the cruelty and indifference of the world than this caring. It is good to remember the consolation of Berger's words as we gather here to tend to poetry, the strange and useless discipline, certainly without interest, of evoking the shaping, remembering, denying of human awareness, this illusion of life, even if our approach is a cry in the dark. Poetry is a way of being lost in a middle world as specific and conscious as a dream in a continuum that makes no sense and has been guiding us since all time. And yet, this non-existent time manifests itself in a vital aggregate of senses cast in a wonder and the murderous restrictions of appearance, where words paradoxically mean nothing, where we cling to the shadows of justification, suggested and destroyed by rhythm, incantation, metaphor, that shifty old saboteur, by the precise imagination used to midwife a memory or meaning. We are here, all of us as makers and markers and products of the artifacts of a time that perhaps never was, with uses that cannot be known or never existed, except in a poem, where they became tools to scrape the skin of words. We are here as shadows in a nether world, where light does not penetrate, to soundlessly sing the magic of poetry. We always knew, and it took us a lifetime to be convinced, that magic will not change the equation of living to die. Is that not our human condition? To do is to sing, whilst knowing that it makes no difference. Why do we think this unique to the human species? Why would leaves not dance when the wind blows? Who will recognize the agonizing joy of singing for nothing, nowhere, perhaps for no one? But we look back and around us and hear the echoes of our cries and songs and believe that we have experienced part of all of us. It won't bring us into the ranks of those few who own mankind, and almost certainly not to find not the fold of believers and escape artists. And yet, we enter upon the transformative dialectic of letting go while becoming other, clinging to the flotsam of our words like non-swimming migrants who will hold onto their need to survive in a mad ocean of destruction, which is creation, which is destruction. Maybe we constitute that heart of remembering, which is forgetting. Certainly we celebrate while crying for the dead from an intimate, even if an inchoate knowledge of solidarity, of identification with all those who knew the soul is a tongue that must consume itself in a burning. We celebrate the first grunting oneness that looked to the stars for guidance in a long hunt for sense. We celebrate a nomad who recognized there must be an endlessness to memory, that the Milky Way will flood the earth just beyond our horizon of expectations. We celebrate the alchemist who created the concept of darkness. We celebrate the self-flagellating anchorite walled in silence, she who went to bed with God, and we weep. We celebrate the poet who wrote the world with his scansion of intricate motives from colored sand and then blew it all away. We celebrate the poet who was a saint, who was a whore, who saved the mice, who wore spurs or a veil, who killed a lover, who wrote, who stopped writing. We celebrate and we honor and we deride the innocent ones who stepped forth from the night of time to die before a firing squad or an extermination camp. We celebrate and honor and salute the poet for whom life was a sacrifice to freedom, even if you know it is a mirage. But freedom is in the going and not the arrival, in a looking, not the finding. No pienses, sino mira. Wittgenstein wrote, don't think, look. When I woke up in the Teatr Polski in Warsaw, I was standing before people very much as I would like to imagine myself to be, only to realize I've been dreaming about singing aloud in my sleep. Did I make it clear enough that this was supposed to be all about the incisiveness and absurdity of the intellect and not just a praise song to the dead? I suspect I spent far too much time on the dialogue between my African fetishes, the loquacious parrot and the silent chameleon, on trying to teach stones how to fly. So much remains to be said then. Among the many gifts life gives us, or the occasion such as this, which revives the mind to Polish letters. How indebted we all are, particularly to your poetry, reflecting in poignant and lasting ways the turmoil of your people, the struggles lost and won, the pride and the beauty, and that many among you in a communal commitment to the dignity of not just national destiny, but as well as shared human fate, resisted the indignity of giving way to the arbitrariness of the barbarism lurking in all of us. One is reminded especially of the value you confer on the strange duality or dichotomy of the human mind and the human spirit, and always your inordinate attention to the particular. How could one imagine Europe, but also other parts of our shared world, without the unforgettable witness of Bruno Schulz? One knows that the making of modernity was imbued by the meaning in the works of Joseph Conrad, Gombrowicz, Milosz, Zimborska, how much that lady continues teaching and showing us, of Alexander Watt and Richard Kapuscinski and Adam Zagajewski and Ryszard Krynicki. And you must please forgive me for this cursory glance at the complexity of Polish literature and arts. Poland has been blessed and cursed because lucidity is a curse beyond the reasonable. But how can one not have been formed and informed by the visionary Andrzej Wajda? And then there is here Zbigniew Herbert, the burning bush who brought us together. I bow in gratitude to Katarzyna Herbert, to the jury members, my peers, Yuri Androkowicz, Edward Hirsch, Michael Krüger, Jaroslav Mikolajewski, Mercedes Monmani, and Andrzej Franaszek. To those who, in their laudable unwisdom, decided to welcome me to the circle of predecessors before whom I stand in awe. And here I want to salute William Merwin, Charles Simic, Richard Krynicki, and the memory of Lars Gustafsson. You have stretched your generosity beyond Europe and America to extend a map of contemporary literature propitiously, since tonight, the 25th of May, we also celebrate Africa Day. And that is why, as a Creole and a Bassa descendant of Europe and Africa and even the East, my brother tells me our maternal ancestor was from India, which is how I became and I am an Afrikaner. And therefore, it is as an African that I thank you in all humility for the honor and the privilege of receiving the Zbigniew Herbert Award. Thank you. Thank you. Je kan nie 'n dronkman 'n pen vaslaat hou. Hy sal aanhou probeer om te 10 geskiedenis te laveer. Jy kan nie 'n dronkman voordag die huis uit laat gaan, want 'n straatlig nog groen is nie. Hy sal op die kaai teen die wind staan en bulk. Jy kan nie 'n dronkman vra om reguit te dink nie. Hy sal vir jou vertel van knaagdiere in Siberië. Jy kan nie 'n dronkman in die dorp laat loop waar vrouens lang oë so slange het nie. Hy sal struikel oor sy voete en sy woorde en agter die lauriebos in die park met 'n rilling al langs sy rug af gaan pis. Jy kan mos nie 'n dronkman vra wat is 'n gedig nie. Hy sal by die venster gesigte trek vir verbygangers en vir jou sê hy soek 'n rymwoord vir knak. Jy kan nie vir 'n dronkman glo as hy sê hy het gevlieg nie. Al is hy vol knoppe en kneusplekke. En al wapper daar ook 'n vuil onderbroek aan die vragpaal by die stadsaal. Jy kan nie vir 'n dronkman vra waar is God nie. Hy sal vir jou sê so onderbroek is gesteel. Jy kan nie 'n dronkman op die dak laat werk nie. Hy sal vir jou sê hy weet alles van die katafoniek terwyl hy kaalgat die mees afgunstige geheime by die skoorsteen af luister en fluister. Jy kan hom nie uitvra oor die liefde nie. Want as dronkvrye sal hy stye en vir jou sy hart aanbied soos 'n kadoes vrot tomaties terwyl sy mond nog rooi is. Jy kan nie dat 'n dronkman jou vertel van sy dooie vriende nie. Hy het 'n lang lem mes in sy sak. Jy kan nie by 'n dronkman wil weet wat hy dink van die dood nie. Hy proes te veel wanneer hy die broodpewe eet. Jy kan nie vir 'n dronkman laat huil op papier. Dit word 'n vleesstront tussen strane en snot en ou vlekke wyn hier. Rooklag vir 'n revolusie. Miskien is elke oggend se gloed die nalig van gister wat uitgebrand is, tot die lig geel asvlokkies. Miskien is elke aand, selfs wanneer die koppel skoon oor ons trek, die oond waar alles uitgebrand het, en net kole nog hier en daar gloei, sonder herinnering of verbintenis. Miskien is die nag die knettering van dit wat ons verlede noem, die dorre bewegings, maar ook die groene hout en verlepte liefdesblomme. Die klere wat ons gedra het om die wêreld te ontmoet, die musiek wat soos 'n vergeet deur ons harte geklop het, die krete op ons lippe, sodat ons die ooglede toeknyp teen die bitterrook en die verwarring van niks meer te wees nie. Elkeen het gepoog om 'n verbygaan vas te lê, soos asemhalingtekens in as en in stof, en die gebeente self het woorde geword om soos geheue weg te waai in stof en as. En ons nie meer daar is nie. Ruik ons soms nog die vlees op die tong, en ons nooit hier was nie, want ons het blind in die besette geveg. Ons het ons borste vir die duisternis ontbloot. Miskien is almal wat ooit bestaan het, die statige wals, die dreun van tromme, die wekroep tot weerstand, die rose van wonde, die reuk van vars koffie. Miskien is alles wat was altyd hier, en elke oggend se gloed van gister wat uitgebrand het. Miskien is ons alles net soos ons niks is. Miskien het ons verskriklike vleeslike kennis 'n wind verby die verbygaan van onthou. Miskien het die swart voël in die tuin van nou net se roep vervlietend geraak aan betekenis begin, maar hoekom dan die treurige lied? Die pad terug. Toe sê woordvoël vir die vrou en die kind: kom ons sit op ons hurke hier teen die hoogte en kyk af die rokende stad en maak bestukopname. Ons bly met die pad verbind aan die plek van oorsprong, al het ons die mense se name vergeet. Toe sê woordvoël vir die vrou en die kind: ons is vry. Ek weet dit is swaar en eens elke jaar is dit goed om te draai, om terug te kyk na die reise en die ryk van dooies. Eens elke jaar word die seisoen donker en die tyd is daar, klaar en ryp om die pampoen, soos 'n hemelse vrug van ewige lewe mag toe te bring. Kom, laat ons sing. Hoe sal ons die vlees bewaar? En die kelders kopnik mummies, swerf swaar van ontbinding, mot en roes het die jasse met gate verblind. Hoe sal ons die afstand besweer? Ons stop die reise en getye op met woestynheuning en sprinkaanvleis en oulandse vergete onthousels, dat 'n goeie geur uit die heuwels kom en hou boek in die stof. Toe sê woordvoël vir die vrou en die kind: kom ons versin onsself as verkenners, maak hout by mekaar en steek aan die vuur. Ons sein vir die burgers van die dooie stad dat ons die maan uit haar donker holtes wil lok om met die pampoen te versoen. Verder sê woordvoël vir die vrou en die kind: vergewe my asseblief. Mens maak gedig ook van stokkies en saad om die sagte woorde op te vang. Mens soek maar altyd die rym en maat en dan die brand van verwerkliking. Julle moet dit vir niemand vertel nie. Oorblyfsel. Voice over. This poem is from a series dedicated to a wonderful deceased Palestinian poet called Mahmoud Darwish. Halfoggend in die hemel bo Westerheuwel is die maan 'n stukkende skepbekertjie van die lig, opgediep uit die tye, beenbleek gespoel deur getye se tyding van verbygaan, om tot klip te stoel so groot soos 'n droom, wat net bewys dat daar al sedert die begin van sterrebeelde 'n dors na lewe in die heelal was. O wagters, julle wat blind op loer lê vir die lig in ons sout en die skittering van die roos in ons wonde, as julle die dooie se gesigte wou aanskou, sou julle die moeders in die gaskamers onthou en kom weet, so is nie die manier om julle identiteit terug te vind. En julle wat in die deure van ons huise staan, kom binne uit die verblindende binding van die môre en maak ons drempels donker, sodat ons gerusgestel mag word dat ons mense net soos julle kan wees. Kom drink Arabiese koffie saam met ons en julle sal sien dat julle mense is net soos ons ook ween en ook in doodskiste pas. To what avail your kingdoms of fame, when the morning wind misses a purling of sweet scents through the garden, small moon entangled in a sleep trip of obscurity? Of what earthly sense to disengorge poetry on stage if we can no longer see the wake-up star, peaking brown in its burning over fold upon field of heels? It means nothing. Your butterfly deplores my name like the consumptive spitly paw cuffed to the newspaper if my days are not seamed by silences. Life is a woman, forests in the fog of shy moonlight, the bird's sleepy slip-sob, the waddle of the sloop, the foss of truth between uprising and death. What might the word say? Shell without the restless kissing of sea, if I could not give myself away with it to the last dark fire of daybreak. Thank you.
Bardzo dziękujemy,
Thank
gratulujemy.
you very much
Jeszcze
and congratulations.
jedno wydarzenie
There's
tego
one more
wyjątkowego wieczoru.
event.
To będzie Włodek Pawlik. Zapraszam,
This
bardzo proszę.
extraordinary evening, Włodek Pawlik.
Jest. No była taka historia, ktoś mi ją opowiadał.
There was
podobno
this
prawdziwa.
story somebody told me. They say it's true. There was a Chopin recital, and somebody was announcing the recital, started speaking, and lost track of his thoughts, so they wanted to go back on track and asked a rhetorical question. But, ladies and gentlemen, who doesn't know Casimir Chopin?
Wszyscy znamy Włodka
So
Pawlika.
we all know Włodek Pawlik.
Ale niespodzianka będzie
But
taka,
the
że
surprise
to będą obrazki z
is
wystawy,
that
które
these
bez
will be
partytury.
pictures from an
Breyten Breytenbach
exhibition
jest
without a
dosłownie
score.
znakomitym malarzem.
Breyten
Bardzo
Breytenbach
obrazy,
is an
produkcje
outstanding
tego
painter.
Włodek
We'll
Pawlik
see
będzie grał do tych obrazów.
reproductions of his paintings, and Włodek will be performing to those images.
Brawo.
Interesting. Wyrek się przydał. Okay.
prawie koniec.
It's nearly over. We're at the apex of the Maslow pyramid, but the foundation is also important. So join us for the reception downstairs, and thank you very much for being with us.